Yeah, we gotta get out of there. Look, there's fire! How fun!
Everybody know that the place popping, boom again a sound. I'm gonna hit the freak alarm. I'm gonna hit the freak alarm. 세상과 점점 커져가는 flow. 나를 봐 점점 따라오는 몸.
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we got a debut, baby. It is Freak Alarm by Alpha Drive 1. Yes, we've seen their time on Boys Who Planet. We have seen their, pre-debut kind of performance to Formula. I'm looking forward to this very, very much so. If you're wanting to get access to any of the things that I've tackled regarding this group and you don't see it on YouTube, most likely it is on Patreon for you to go, glean, binge away, and enjoy. I'm ready. I hope you are. Let's get into it.
Second we walk in, everybody know. Got the place popping, 꿈과 같은 sound. I'm gonna hit the, I'm gonna hit the, I'm gonna hit the. Second we walk in, everybody know. Got the place popping, boom again a sound. I'm gonna hit the freak alarm. I'm gonna hit the freak alarm.
This whole beginning, Siren Rise. Did Arno actually get a whole little phrase this time? Oh.
Give me the show, give me the show.
This reverb is really cool. That makes sense there.
I saw you, it's so different, I can't believe it's the right time, baby, it's a long time, it's a long time, 이건 accident, we go on and on. 그 순간으로 flashback. 너는 내게 끝도 없이 replay. I already knew you're gonna like this. Oh, give me the show, give me the show, give me the show. We're burning it down. Second we walk in, everybody know. Got the place popping, 꿈을 깨는 sound. I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna hit that. 나를 와 점점 커져가는 flow. 나를 봐 점점 따라오는 몸.
Yeah, we gotta get out of there. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make it hit the freak alarm. And we hit the alarm at the end. Look at that. Okay. I'm really happy they debuted. The track itself sounds fine. I don't mind it. It does make me want to dig a little bit, but we'll save that for whenever we have that information more readily available. So it has recently been brought to my attention, I believe we have an injury. Arno is injured right now, so there's a chance we may not be getting a dance practice as soon as I was thinking we were. It just depends on if they were able to film it before he got hurt. So we are going to, for Freak Alarm, look at the fan cam from M2, shout out to M2, and then we'll do our review here. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Too much confidence, 어찌할지 keep it so high. 난 널 보기 고급해서 잠깐 switch sentimental. Maybe no attention, but you're still looking 좋아. Go wanna go, yeah, 나를 알게 될 거야.
I think some levels, even though we've dropped a level, I think more levels would be really helpful in this first verse. The alarm's been set off so soon? Huh. I wonder if that's just for this debut here.
It's so different, I can't believe it's the right time, it's the wrong time, baby, it's the wrong time, it's the wrong time. 이거는 내 So different, nothing new alien, 더는 주저하지 않겠어. 이건 accident, we go on and on. 그때 순간으로 flashback. 너는 내게 끝도 없이 replay. I already know you're gonna like this. Oh, give me the show, give me the show, give me the show. We're burning it down. So we work it, everybody know. Let's pop it on my way to some. I'm gonna hit that.
Nice.
I'm gonna hit that. Yeah, 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 yeah. 하나와 점점 도착하는 floor. 하나와 점점 따라오는 몸. I'm gonna hit the freak alive. I'm gonna hit the freak alive.
A bridge. Love it. I think, yeah. I think it's in that, was it Formula who has the bridge too? I'm here for it. Look, there's fire! How fun! Cool. Okay, from the top we go. Okay. I'm curious about what their light stick's gonna be when they release one. So we have a reveal from McCollum going into an inverted V and then having your first feature be song one, and then it looks like Skanmu. Look at him getting to the floor mighty fast. Is there a little bridge? No, that's not Gonwoo. That's Sanghyun. So sorry. Because Gonwoo's right there. That's Sanghyun. Based on It's a Rap. Yeah. So sorry about that. Yeah. Anyway, really nice on the levels for that. And you have to walk in everybody. We get a nice lasso on the build up there. We got Angshin as feature in center. I will say though, seeing him in center, it's more of an assumption that he's featured versus the composition, like the overall choreography shows me that he's my feature. So that would be kind of a general note for that. I tend to appreciate, especially when you're dealing with a group like a survival show result-based group, I personally would say there's gonna be a lot of people who discover the group post survival show. You know, they'll be like, oh, who's this Aldi grocery boys? Like, who's the Alpha Drive 1 people, right? And then they go and they watch, and it could be a bit difficult to know who is who unless you already knew that going in. I would say in a choreography sense, when you feature people, when you have a vocal feature, I would say it's a safe assumption to try to get them to be featured either through levels, dynamics, placement, which I would say they placed him in center, but there were two people in front of him, so it's a little bit harder to really catch unless you see him sing. So that's something where we shouldn't, as an audience, have to work overtime to be able to know who's featured. It's kind of my general note about that. Now this part here, it is registering better to me here in as a texture shift or as a dynamic shift with these reverbs. I'm really trying to clock the sound because it's like a solid harmony. Da da da. There's like yeah, like that's happening, but there's not a movement that is going on the run. This movement, is there a percussion that I'm missing? It goes do do do. Yeah, and so I'm gonna chalk it up to a texture preference on my end, where I normally wouldn't use a reverb for any sounds that exist currently in that section, because this reverb normally there's a sense of there's a vibrato or a something that causes a repeat. Because if you look at a reverb, it goes between 2, possibly 3 different positions, and then it settles out. So normally you would see a vibration or a vibrato whenever you have it vocally. It's between 2 notes. So that's why you see a vibration, because it works movement wise, as well as a reverb because it chills out when your vibrato descends or decrescendos or lowers in volume. That's my go-to. However, I respect the preference choice. I learned something new, right? Because we're building it up, because they're ringing like an alarm, because an alarm makes that same look as well. So I understand that they're probably going off of what an alarm looks like and replicating it compared to justifying it through sound itself. But see, look, I'm learning. Now that's Gunwoo. Found him right here. So he's here in center. But once again, he's in center, and we are subtly framing him in his unison. Now I like the alarm, yeah. Like we have the tune, and we're kind of coasting in between the different sounds, which is really nice. I don't mind it. And then we have it switched off to Shinlong, right? Hi, boom, hit. And you have the freak alarm. We tossed out like the hops and hops. Yeah, the whole beginning intro, I really liked the column. We expanded out, but notice we framed a little bit towards the inside. And what I mean by framing is if you have somebody in center, you have people that surround through their body positioning or through movement that creates moments to where you're naturally wanting to focus on center. Do I see that? It feels like I'm having to put in some effort here to really look and see who my feature is. Is it because they're in all black and it's a darker backdrop? Maybe, but this is kind of what I'm observing so far. We got to lean back, so that's an example here. And it's not because it's Arno who's one of the main dancers, I would assume here. It is because everybody's dropped a level and he's the only one who stays up. We could have had this happen like 20 seconds ago whenever you had Angshin or Ganwoo or Sangwon featured, right? And Shinlong, right? Okay. So we knock it, the switch off there, says hello, because we have so many people. And then now we have Junso, but guess what? You couldn't tell it was him because he's not even centered. And he's technically centered, but it's not balanced because it's an even number group. There's no one directly behind him, which I'm appreciative of. But you have a group of 4, and then he's a part of the group of 4 over here. So normally in this type of formation, you would have it where they would split center. So it would be Gunwoo and Junso that split. But Junso is the feature. So I'm going to say as a general note that I'm giving to this, we need a lot more feature, more interesting creative feature mechanisms put in play so we can actually see our features and appreciate them more. And that's for so far with every feature. I think Arno's is the only one where you have a level change where you see that. So they rotate it around. But on the unison side, I like this. Look, there we go. There it is. Now we got to see Angshin, right? So they all were moving in opposition through, guess what? Framing. They were framing towards Angshin, and we were able to see him even though he was all the way over here on the stage right side. We need more of that, right? Then he goes to center, which is cool. Wow, like the down. Down is nice. They body roll, so that's nice. They all, look, directionally frame, body roll up to Sanghyun's section. The point is nice. We scoop it, so we're getting better. We're progressing. Come on now. Good. I like the different speed changes coming out of that. Da 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 da. And then here we go. Now it's Leo, which is nice. He's doing the same thing, but now look, we have a level so we can really see him, because it was hard to see him at first. Not because he's not being charismatic. No, not at all. It's everybody's doing a really good job on projecting and presenting. They're not being framed. Honestly, they're not being framed successfully, so we can appreciate them 100% of the way. The turnout of it is fine. When some people move on the knees, we have some that just rotate around, so I'm very interested about that. It could be the flooring. Sometimes if your floor has a particular type of terrain on it, you have to modify because of what you're wearing. I would say when you're outside, it's a really big one, but sometimes on stage, if the flooring is either like not finished, that's a real thing. We have some dancers that have to convert or like always wear shoes when sometimes the dance calls for being barefoot because of the type of stage, because out of safety sometimes, right? And I know some of you are like, oh my God, Jess, that's not safe. It's mostly a, what is it? You're not going to always have the top tier stage, flooring that you want to have all the time. You're not going to have Marley or shower pan lining or whatever always at your disposal on these spaces. Sometimes you get what you get, and you got to figure it out. So that's what my gut says is happening here, is that even though you have some people that are like actually rotating on the knees, you have others that are actually like turning. Oh yeah, some are, I think it's just a lower level. We see a sweep happening near the back, and then we have just a 3-step turn lifting up just a little bit, possibly too much, because we have to keep him featured the whole time, especially on a rotation like that. But that could just be a one-off. That's the beauty of, hopefully we'll have a dance practice. If we do, great. We could probably look at this again, see if any of these things shift because from, music shows to being in the somewhere comfortable like a studio. Oh, give me the show, give me the show, give me the show. Give me the show, give me the show. I like the point in the front. The kicker tonight, they got a little sturdy. Song 1, he was able to be featured here. Why? Because he is the only one not moving, doing the sturdy like everybody else is, right? And then Angshin is the only other who's not, but he's moved over to the side, and I believe it's turned into a little harmony moment, right? We come up, and then we have a nice little bass happening there with the chest. And then this is happening. Is this in the original track? Maybe. If it's not, if it's just for the show, cool. Maybe there's other effects happening. That's absolutely fine as well. Come on, lasers. How many lasers can one use for a stage? Yes. Love it. So they're frozen. It's cool. This is honestly a great breather. We're here for it. And we walk. I like that the in-ears are working because they all moved at the same time. We love it. Your own happening up here. And then that part, you hear that da 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 da, and we had a vibration, like a breakdown. That is really cool, very full, and we have a little feature reveal coming out of it too. Double it, travel it up, and we knock it, sitting it low. And then, let me see. We got Junso covered up, and it's in the second chorus. I noticed somebody get covered up. It could be our vantage point though, because it does look like he's off the corner of song 1, so that's going to be a dance practice verification there. My gut says that he's catty corner, but I am personally very sensitive for this group because we're in the debut era, and I'm going to say it every time I see it, and it doesn't matter if you're a rookie group or if you've been around for a hot minute and a half. We always want to avoid hiding somebody for an extended period of time. Why? Especially for a survival group that was individual based. Everybody is a bias to somebody, especially a group like Zero Base 1, Alpha Drive 1, Aholf, just, any group. I mean, pretty much most groups that debut nowadays come from a survival show. All of them are biased to somebody because they were voted into the group. So that's why it's really important to really be sensitive to that when you have an even number especially. It's not even that we're dealing with a hiatus. No, this is the number that we have. So we gotta be more creative. And I will say it every single time. To hop it, rotate it around. Yeah. And then we switch it off. And we get low, mid, high. Junso didn't move at all. I wonder if you noticed that. Gunwoo did really well there. I like the conversational elements that he brought to that. Looks good. Boom. Low, middle, high. Knock it. Open it up. I like the deviation that we saw from Arno there with the toss-up and everybody else went out. It's a nice way to do it. And we expanded the formation. Go tension. We go high, low. We go knock, knock, knock. We hit it through. Also, Arno is very full out in movement. That's a really nice charming quality that he has. What's interesting about it is I normally don't clock when he's going super, super full unless he is featured. That's very smart because I do remember when I've looked at other groups in their rookie era, that's a hard thing to regulate when you're not careful. Is yes, you can be an incredible mover, but if you don't know how to integrate within a group, regardless of where you are, that can turn into showing weaknesses that your group has without realizing it. So, so far, so good for that. I'm still looking at that. So now we have Freak Alarm, good for Leo. Wherever he sets up, everybody has to calibrate to that. So it looks like it's pretty successful there. He knocks people out. Not knocks people out, but like sends them out. I like the drop levels is cool. And then it looks like we got Songhyun now living his life over here. I like the rock back is cool. Looks like we have a camera that's over on the stage left side. That's cute. Like, that's nice. Beautiful frame on that, right? Like, this is, I could tell you exactly who the feature is right here. We got points, we got interactions, we got a lot of that placating. I like the levels being added there. And then look, beautiful. So we have Sunghyun going and take a little breather over here, and then you have Shinlong feature. They do a nice little circle. I like the little steps out of that. It's nice. He tosses it, and I like the pass off over to Songwon. Now, is this a possible fan service moment where others are interacting with the audience? I sure hope so. It looks like an extended stage where you got people possibly in the front and behind. I would love to see that moment as this partnership happens. Nice little heel on that. Looks like it's supposed to be a heel twist on that. Cool, and it's assisted. And then Angshin joins in. Then we're getting sturdy. Just 2 kicks. You low-key could pull an ATL stomp out of that. And it ties into that sturdy that we saw on the bam, 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 on the sound, right? They hit it. The ball change looks nice. And we send. Nice speed change. Look, we get to see Leo there. So I would say once we're doing better in that second verse on feature. That's like brilliant, right? First verse needs that same kind of love. And normally I reverse that, where the choruses tend to need way more dynamics in play for them, and then the verses are normally top tier and top notch. So easy to tell where's where. I just don't know what happened about that first verse in this track specifically. It's interesting. The melts are fine, cool. And he's also moving in a very pedestrian, reality-based timing, meaning that if I'm a normal person doing very normal things like what he's doing, that's in the timing in which you would normally do them. Everybody else is slowed down. So it looks like we've manipulated time around him. That's another way of framing through dynamics of timing. That's cool. The pulse on that. That's fine. So we got a center there, but he ends up pressing out with the arms, Angshin does, and everybody does a nice little bleed melt down to the ground. That's really fun. Now, is there going to be a functional feature there? Not quite. Normally when you have somebody covered up like that, I was expecting something to happen back there, but it didn't. Then we got Arno in the front, but then we are sacrificing Sanghyun for having somebody in front of him. Oh, that little no, that was nice, where we deviate, so... and I like the arms crossed for that as well. Toss it. Yep, it's nice to see Songhyun there. I was expecting him to be featured, because this was a little bit later of a feature than I was expecting for that. We got Burning It Down, moving forward. And then you have Shinlong be the only one that didn't drop. We have the head, nice. We hit it, and notice whenever this kind of technique you would normally see in snaking, where your head goes, that establishes how far your body needs to go with it, even if you isolate it. So it's really nice that we see them commit to this look and then melt it through. They send it back. I like that popping where they send the arm off. And then we have that sound, and I like the little tilts back of the head. Then we kick it. Fun. Look, come on, Junso. And he's up over on that stage left side. Easiest day to see him. Why? Levels. Nice. And he hits it. Nice. Boom. Nice. And we go ra-da-da-da-da. We rotate it. I like the scissors on that with a switch off, using that to help spread out. And look, no one's being covered up. Brilliant. Thank you. Slide it. And then we have the little free alarm. I like that Anshin moved out to the side. And then we have the accent low. The drop out is cool. So we have 2 of our members dropping in the back, mirrored on the sides, and then I like that everybody, boom, had a little stop, accent, and then we melt it around. Really nice. He goes low to high, good feature moment. Make everybody drop to the floor, and then he lowers for a functional feature reveal. Good. Nice. So I like the bleed up, great range on that. And then we drop it back down, and we hit it low, slowly come back up. And then we have the snap. So it's very chill in this bridge. So you don't want to do too much. We're tone shifting, meaning that whatever our movement was established in posture and density and content, you want it to complement what's happening here, but you don't want it to overshadow your music. Here, we've slowed it down, more speed changes, more tension because there's a synthy, piano that's playing chord-wise that is prolonging a lot of the sounds throughout the space. So having your movement replicate that is really great musicality, which is the physical, like you're the visual of the song. Come on now. Yeah, and then we got Junso once again. We have a feature, looks great. Then you have Ganwoo, so they all open it up. He's the only one moving. Easy to see him, right? And he's the only one looking at us too. I really like the head ISO over here that we saw from Arno, but notice that movement in of itself, it's probably because he doesn't have a jacket on. I could really see it. I see others see Songwon pulling it. It's a really cool move here. Let me see who else does it. Yeah, we got Shinlong doing it. Songwon do it? Let me see. See, now we got to go through. This is where like fan cams would work. I'm not going to do a fan cam journey on them yet until they got like 4. They've had like 4 comebacks. So like we got time. But I'm looking one more time. Let's see what Leo's doing. Yeah, so we did a nice little shoulder on that too. So everyone had some individuality in the upper body, but we matched timing and dynamics. That's where that's okay. We love it, right? And then you still got Ganwoo staying and sticking to be featured. High note, let's go. He moves to the side and it says, let's start a fire. Guess what, guys? There's fire. And we punch it high, low, and then we rock it back. The middle and high. Now, for this case, I would say Leo is our feature. He is the most in front and he's center. So you can kind of cheat this as like a triangle formation or a pyramid formation or a V with 2 accent points on the inside that help with that. And then they take it to the inside. Now notice it's a double V where you have an outside V and then an inside V that still helps him, stay featured there. But also Ganwoo was able to get in that pretty well through a little shift over. That's cool. They said, come here, open it up. The punches are nice. We hit that doom, 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 and we have the little leg coming out of it. Songhyun said explosion with the kick. That was nice. Great intensity. Match the pyrotechnics. And they go, everybody know. And they go, knock, knock. It's nice. And this little sound. And then we have the bass, bass, bass. Yeah, the freak alarm. I like this with freak alarm. Because we have this note being held out and we have a motion that's consistent. What is that? My leg is consistently moving. So it creates a really nice continuation of a move, which helps justify the continuation of the note if you're thinking about it from a musicality standpoint. And I really like that it looks like we have an alarm or something going off in our hand, right? The knock on the ch is fun. So out of all the courses, I do like this one. I do understand the captivation of the vibration reverb that we see earlier on, and I am going to land on it is to look like an alarm versus really match a part of our music. And then we end up doing a little heel toe, fun little drop level. And then we have it now. You have Songwon in center. He's the most in front, so it's easier to clock him there. A little floor, and then we hit it, nice little hop. Now he's the only one who doesn't do the jump. So that's another way of clocking who your feature is there. You toss it up. And you have this freak alarm. And I think it's Shinlong, right? Shinlong was about to be featured there. Everybody turns back, and then he's the only one who stays front. And he knocks the elbows, and then we have a fun reveal here. Cool. So, and then we have fire, because we can never have enough of that. And Leo's outfit. I don't know if anybody has ever played Kingdom Hearts 2 or Chain of Memories. Doesn't this look like an Organization 13 fit he's pulling? And I love it. But anyway, my point for this, though, is I like it. I don't mind it. We have a debut, and I'm really, really happy to see it. I'm happy that we get to look at, Freak Alarm with OT8. I don't know what other, activities we're going to have with all 8 members during this time, because I believe Arno broke something. I don't know what he broke, but it showed up on my feed. I said, oh, that changes things. We expedite things a little bit faster here. And I want to hear from you. Out of Formula and Freak Alarm, which of the 2 is your preference? I think Formula had so much density and complexity. There was really cool moments that we got to appreciate about this one. This one, you have more live vocal capabilities, and I think part of it comes from the conditioning of Formula helps prep for one like this, where this one's not as dense, but you still have a lot of the texture fingerprints, meaning that some of our movements that we've done in formula, we are, what is it, not revising, but we're doing variants here. So our body is conditioned to handle them with a vocal presence as well. I do appreciate the formations and composition overall of formula more, but I do appreciate the puzzle piece of Freak Alarm. It's good for, we got a little fan service moment on the sides, I assume. And it's I don't know which one's harder for them. That'd be like an interview or a dance practice behind to look through. But I'm really happy to be on this journey with you guys. It's been great to be able to appreciate all of these guys and their progress and their improvement from their time on Boys to Planet, and some of them even before then to now. And we are far from over. Anytime they have a comeback or a dance with a full cam, we're going to appreciate it together. You guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.